Everyone, welcome back to the channel. I got a special video for you guys today. Today I have with me a pretty awesome product that I was able to pick up a couple months ago, and it's actually now one of my favorite Bluetooth speakers. So today I have with me the Soundcore made by Anker. So this is actually a Bluetooth speaker. The model number is Motion X600. So it's not an official unboxing because I did have a chance to test out the speaker and just get a feel for what it's like before making my recommendation to you guys. So without further ado, I put everything back in the box just so you have an idea of what comes within the box. So we can start off there, and then we'll go on to the main features of the speaker and just have a little discussion on that. So it comes in a pretty nice packaging. You can see it comes in with a sleeve right here. So pretty neat. At the time of when I purchased this particular speaker, it was on sale for $150, which I thought was pretty impressive, for what the features that it offers. So it's pretty cool. The packaging, I'm pretty impressed. It doesn't feel cheap. Like with the likes of like Sonos, I don't think this, disappoints. So pretty nice packaging, as you can see. I'll just turn it around. All right. And to open it, there's a little tab down here. I actually lift it up actually. So you just lift it up and the speaker is actually in here. It sits nice. Pretty nice cushioning in here. It's well protected, so it's not gonna be damaged or anything. So I'm really impressed with the packaging. So I do have to say, before we get to the speaker, let's actually see the contents of what else comes in the box. So you can see the inside of the box. You get a USB-C. Yep, USB-C to USB-C cable. No power brick, so I guess you'd have to get your own power brick, or what I've been doing is I've been using my iPad charger to charge it. So anything with a USB-C, I think it has to be 5 volts to get the fastest charge time. So you'll be able to make use of that. The basic instructions that it comes with. And yep, the instruction manual. So we can take a look at that. I'm just gonna put this to the side here, and we can see it's just a little pamphlet that opens up. It talks about how you charge it, the anatomy of the actual speaker, just things like that. So let's get to the main part, the speaker itself. So let's see what we got in here. Pretty nice built, as you can see, and I'll put my phone next to it just so you can get a size comparison. So it's not too big. It has some heft to it, so it feels solid in your hands. It doesn't feel like a flimsy item. At the top, you do have an aluminum handle. Feels good in the hands. They do have little ridges. It's kind of hard to see, but you do have little ridges in here, which kind of makes it, I guess, a little comfortable to hold. But this whole casing is made out of aluminum. It looks like, I believe the case itself is made out of aluminum, but the handle is definitely made out of aluminum. You have the Soundcore logo here. You do have the speaker grill, which is also made out of aluminum, so it protects the insides of the speaker. You have they're not touchscreen, so they're actual physical buttons that you can push, but they're kind of rubberized at the top, and that also helps with the weather seal as well. You have a play button here. You have the volume buttons on the side here. You also have a power button right here. You have the Bluetooth button right here. You also have the so this is pretty neat, and that's what I think sets the speaker apart from other competitors, especially big competitors as well, like Sonos, Sony, and alike, and also Bose. So this actually offers spatial audio, which I don't believe the other speakers, Bluetooth speakers that are in this particular price range, or within this group offer. But this button right here is actually turn on and off the spatial audio feature, which is basically a speaker they placed on top to get a more immersive sound, a sound stage, so that does the speaker doesn't feel flat. You kind of feel immersed, kind of like using AirPods with the spatial audio, I guess, turned on. It gives it a wider sound stage. And then you have a bass button. This just basically boosts up the bass. You do have some rubber feet at the bottom right here. You have 4 rubber feet, so this is gonna stay in place. It ain't going nowhere. If you look in the back, this is where the charge port is. So if you look here, if I can get this open, this is a rubber seal box, so you can see, you have your USB-C charging port right there. You also have an auxiliary port in the back here. It might be a little tough to see. It is sealed because this speaker is weather sealed. It does seal the charge port too when you're not using it. You do have some openings in the back right here to kind of like a bass port, so it gives it a lot more bass. Overall, pretty solid feel. It doesn't feel too light in the hands, which me personally I prefer. It feels sturdy. Nice handle to carry it around, kind of give you that traditional boombox feel. So it has a retro look to it. Pretty neat overall. I really like the design. The aluminum finish kind of has, I guess, kind of like a MacBook Pro feel to it. So pretty solid and pretty premium finish in my opinion. So I do like it. This speaker is actually available in 3 different color variants. The one that I have is called the Polar Gray. It also comes in the Aurora Green and Lunar Blue. So it comes in 3 colors. Only one finish, so you're not going to get like different finishes. It's just going to be different metals. The speaker does come with an impressive IP-X7 waterproof rating, which basically means you can immerse this speaker in like 3 feet of water for like 30 minutes. So you can't keep it in there, obviously. I don't know why you want to take your speaker into the pool with you, but if you accidentally knock it over, rest assured you can just take it back out and it will dry, and then you'll be fine. So you're not going to have issues there. It's built like a tank. Total wattage for the speaker is 50 watts, which is quite impressive for a speaker this small. But this speaker actually has a total of 5 drivers inside of it. You have 2 mid-bass drivers in the front right here. You also have 3 tweeters. So you have 1 tweeter here on the side, another tweeter here on the other side, and then you have 1 more tweeter at the top, which provides the spatial audio, or kind of like a 3D audio effect. And you also have 3 separate amplifiers for a total of the 50 watts. So this does have Bluetooth 5.0, which is advertised with a range of over 300 feet. I did have a chance to test it out. I haven't had any sort of connectivity issues with it. I've left it in the basement, and I've gone all the way up to my bedroom in my house, and I didn't have any kind of disruption in the connection. I didn't hear any choppiness, so the signal was able to go through walls just fine. This is one thing that sets this I guess speaker apart from the other competitors as well. Although they may have other things that they offer that may compete with this speaker, of course. But to me, at this price range, to have a speaker that's certified as high-res audio, I think it's pretty impressive. So this particular badge that you get on a device is not something you could just simply slap on and say, oh yeah, our device is high-res audio certified. So I actually looked it up, and it is they go through a pretty rigorous testing to certify a particular product, whether it's a speaker or a headphone. So according to Sony, the high-res certification is a design proposed and defined by Sony. So, this basically means regular audio is 16-bit audio, and this particular speaker does support 24-bit audio. So to summarize it, the high-res certification process, it basically means that the particular device can accurately reproduce digital 24-bit 96 kilohertz media files into acoustic signals that you can hear. So, like I mentioned, it's not just, a sticker that you slap on and say, yeah, we're high res certified. They actually have to go through several testing. And listening to the speaker yourself, you'll definitely hear and appreciate all the details that you would get. This does so within that topic. This does support LDAC, which is basically lossless digital audio codec, which is a codec created by Sony, again, that allows higher resolution audio playback when paired with hi-fi apps like Tidal. I'm not sure if Spotify offers lossless audio streaming, but I know Tidal for sure does allow you to stream lossless, which basically means little to none compression in the audio files, so you get all the details within the music that you're listening to. So this does support that. However, it does limit you to only being able to use that with Android devices 8.0 and higher. So far, I haven't seen that this particular codec is supported by iOS. So I'm not sure if in the future that's going to be the case, but at least for now, this is only a feature that's available to Android users. So all you Android users out there, good news for you. So you'll be able to make use of that, and if you do have Tidal, you'll be able to stream these uncompressed files. So like I mentioned earlier, you do have two woofers essentially, and then you have two tweeters. So let's talk about the frequency response of the speaker. So this goes as low as 54 hertz, and then of course at the high end, it does reach up to 19 kilohertz. So it covers a wide spectrum, as far as the frequency response goes. So that's pretty neat. You do have some beefy drivers in here. So, I think the weight, it probably speaks for itself. It's probably the battery as well, but it definitely feels solid in here. So I know the probably the main question when it comes to portable speakers is how long does the battery last? So they actually, or Anchor actually advertises it as 12 hours that this particular speaker can run for. But in reality, it's more so, 10 hours or less, because that 12 hour that they advertise is taken into consideration that you don't have the bass turned on. So that does utilize more power, which means, you get less battery life out of it. But yeah, in my test, I've noticed, I don't have it cranked all the way up, of course, but, halfway. I think on average, 9 to 10 hours seems about right with the battery usage. How long does it take to charge is probably another question. So it takes about 6 hours, provided you have a 5-volt charger. So in my case, I'm just simply using my iPad charger, which is probably, I'm not sure what the actual voltage is on it, but it's one of those fast chargers. I haven't had any issues with it. It charges it right up, and I'm able to use it. You can use the speaker as you charge it, so that's a neat feature. So if it's sitting on your kitchen counter or something, you'll be able to use it while it's charging. And it does come with the Anchor Soundcore app, which is a handy way to control the device, and it also gives you some additional features that you won't find, or the settings that you won't be able to do with this particular with the set of buttons that you have up here. So we'll go into how to pair the speaker to your phone, but you do have like EQ settings. You have different presets that you can use with the speaker. You can turn on the bass, the bass on or off using the app. And I do believe if you have a second pair of this particular speaker, you can use it in stereo mode as well, which I believe you'd have to set up through the app. The speaker itself can work in stereo. You obviously have the left side of because you have multiple tweeters, you have your left side right here, and then you have your right side right here. So it does work in stereo, but if you have a second speaker, you can set it up as in stereo mode. So I think we talked about the perks of this particular speaker. I guess we can kind of talk about what its weaknesses may be. Like I mentioned, it does use Bluetooth 5.0, which is awesome. But the speaker does not have Wi-Fi capabilities, nor does it have AirPlay capabilities. So If you're trying to make use of AirPlay, this is not going to work for you. Unlike other competitors like Sonos, which you might be able to use, the Wi-Fi streaming as well as Bluetooth streaming with some of their mobile Bluetooth devices that they have. With this particular one, only through Bluetooth and also using the auxiliary port that I showed you earlier. So I guess that can be considered as a limitation of the speaker itself. And then, performance-wise, I loved it. Yeah, I was quite surprised. I was taking kind of a chance going with this particular, I didn't really know about this particular brand. I know about Anker. I know they make different accessories and, like hubs and different devices for your computer, like peripherals. But I didn't know that they actually made speakers like this one. The sound is amazing. And I found myself with the actual spatial audio mode turned on. I didn't really like it when this particular mode was turned off. So it sounds a lot better and it sounds more immersive when you have the spatial audio enabled. It sounds amazing. I think at the lower end, I did notice a little bit of distortion at the lower end, especially if you listen to a lot of like hip hop or rap, a lot of bass heavy type of music. You might start to hear some distortion when you start to increase the volume. It doesn't get crazy where I think other Bluetooth speakers, I think when you crank up the volume, you start to see a lot more distortion and it loses its power. But with this one, it doesn't actually lose its power. But, although it produces, some bass that you can actually feel, I think where it shines the most is if you like a lot of acoustic type of music. I think classical type of music, something that's not really bass heavy. String instruments sound phenomenal with these speakers. Something that's not bass heavy, you're probably gonna really, really enjoy this speaker. I brought the camera a little closer so that I could show you. So what we'll do first, what you have to do is you have to turn it on, of course. So to turn it on, you just hold the button. You can hear it. And we'll go ahead and press the Bluetooth button, hold it down so that it gets into pairing mode. All right, and you can see it flashing. I don't know if it might be a little hard to see. So it's gonna go ahead and flash, and then what we'll do is we'll get on the settings. If you have iOS device, you'll go to your Bluetooth settings, and it should show up as Soundcore Motion X600. Go ahead and connect it. You'll hear that beep. So that means it's actually connected. All right, so we're good to go. The name of the app, like I mentioned, is called Soundcore, similar to the speaker. So you just open it up after you download it, and if your speaker is actually connected to your phone already through Bluetooth, it does show up here in the app. Like I mentioned, this speaker does not have Wi-Fi, so it does use Bluetooth. So as long as your speaker is connected, it's going to show connected right here, and it should show green. And if you have additional devices, of course, or additional speakers, you can just simply add them here. So go ahead and click on the speaker itself. It shows up. It's a pretty simple design, pretty neat design. And then, you'll see your speaker here. You'll see the battery level. It doesn't actually let you click on it, which I was thinking it would, but it would be nice if it showed like a percentage. It has the ability to, power it off. You have the play button down here. It does show you the volume. You can control the volume here. And also, this is where I mentioned earlier, you have the different EQ and different presets that you can use. So for me, I've mostly been using the Soundcore Signature. I think to me that sounds probably the best just out of the box. But you have different options in here that you can play around with. So you can manually adjust the EQ. This is the bass up button that I mentioned earlier. So you'll be able to adjust this, turn it off and on. When I actually turn it off, I don't know if you saw it on the actual speaker, kind of in the corner here. You see right there. So you turn on, and then turn it off. So you can control that. Unfortunately, you don't have the ability to turn off the spatial audio option, which I find a little weird. If the bass up was there, I would have assumed that they would put it there as well. You can play around with the EQ, like I mentioned. You have different presets. I'm using the Soundcore signature. The second preset that you have is extra bass. You do have voice one, where I guess it's going to amplify the voice more. You have a treble boost preset, and then you have a balance preset, which is probably a little bit more flat. And then if you actually wanted to customize the EQ yourself, you actually have a full band controller here, so you can play around with the trebles, with the high ends, as well as with the low ends as well. Create your own custom preset, and believe you should be able to save it. But yeah, this is the different options that we have. So let's see what the settings are. So you can give it like different names. But yeah, create your own presets. Let's see with the full band. So yeah, if you click on full band, it actually kind of changes just the orientation, so it's easier to see. What else we got? So outside of that, like I mentioned, you have the power button. Let's see what the settings are. So you have a voice prompt. It basically turns on and off the sound that it makes when you turn it off and on. So different, a lot of the settings are going to be in the app itself. You can change the button brightness. I have it set to low, just so that it can preserve on battery. I'm not sure if it's going to save it a whole lot, but I don't need to have it all bright. But if I change it to high, I don't know if you saw it. It definitely made the buttons on the actual speaker much brighter. Set it to medium, and then you can actually turn them off too if you want. But I prefer to keep them on low so that I know, which options are turned off versus turned off. So that is that. And let's see. You have the ability to update the firmware, of course. This does have the ability to save power too, so that's pretty neat. If you're not actually using it, if it's not playing music or anything like that, it has the ability to turn off after 20 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever you want to pick. You do have that ability. And that's pretty much it. When it comes to the app itself, you go back, you see a list of your devices. Yeah. So pretty, basic app, which I like. I don't want it to be complicated. I mean, it's a pretty simple speaker, so the app should be as simple as possible as well. So all the basic controls that you need are in the app. So it's a pretty neat way to control it without having to physically go to the speaker and, press around the buttons. It's going to be really tough to hear the clarity of the speaker through my condenser mic right up here. So I have a Zoom H6 Pro, which has the stereo microphone on it. So I'm going to face the speaker towards that, and I'm just going to play some audio just to get a feel for what the speaker sounds like.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles.
So this right now is with the spatial audio turned on. And I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it off right now.
I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Spatial audio turned on. And I'm about a quarter up in the volume, so not really halfway, but a little bit under halfway. And now what I'll do is I'll actually, the bass boost is actually turned on, so I'll just turn that off.
Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything.
I'll turn the bass boost back on.
Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Bass boost turned off. Play one more song here. So I'm starting it off with bass mode, bass boost turned off, and also spatial audio turned off. And I'm just gonna turn it up. So now we are a little bit over halfway.
I feel like I saw the light. You got me way up 1,000 miles. Can we stay right here in this atmosphere like we're flying out in space?
And I'll go ahead and turn on the spatial audio.
Up this high, we'll never hit the ground. Don't look down. See the sky, we're gonna reach it now.
Bass boost is turned off. I'll go ahead and turn on bass boost. Definitely has bass. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and turn it up 100%.
See the sky, we're gonna reach it now. Are your hands shaking? Are your fists breaking? Are you climbing over walls? Are the times changing? Is the noise fading?
So far, not really hearing any distortion.
Don't look
Yeah, I think that speaks for itself. Definitely, it's definitely bumping for sure. I didn't really hear any distortion. And one thing I did left out is another feature that this speaker does have is you do have the ability to answer calls from on the speaker. You can talk to people on the speaker. So you do have that capability as well. That concludes our video. I really love this speaker. I think anybody that gets it will not be disappointed at all. And to me, it sounds a lot better with the spatial audio feature turned on. It might not sound perfect for every single song you play. There's not like a requirement for it where only a certain music is allowed to use the spatial audio. You can pretty much, set it up with any music. This is actually a proprietary software that they're using, that they wrote, which you can take any song and it kind of gives it that immersive sound. So I'm not quite sure the science behind it, how it isolates, if it's isolating a lot of the dialogue and then using that to put it through the speaker at the top. But yeah, I think the software I think works pretty good. Any music you play, it does have the ability. Some music just sounds a lot better with the spatial audio. Some doesn't really make a difference. But I think overall, I give it a 2 thumbs up. If I had a chance to buy it again, I would. I don't have any regrets with this particular speaker. And I think you're going to enjoy it as well. So if you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and that'll help me come out with additional content. So be on the lookout for my next video. Have a good one.
Is your heart racing? Is that